So today I'm going to talk to you about how to lose weight when exercise isn't working. You've been working out. You've been working out frequently, you've tried different exercises, and you just can't drop that weight. What is going on? What's happening in your body that you're not able to lose that weight? Let's talk about it. The main issue with your weight is where your weight set point is, and that is in your hypothalamus. So number one thing you need to do is balance out your hypothalamus. Your hypothalamus goes into survival mode when you either starve it by going on a diet, or you start exercising really vigorously, which the hypothalamus thinks you're being chased by a tiger. So it goes into that stress response, that fight or flight response. When that happens, it's going to actually lower your metabolism somewhat, so that any bit of food that you're eating goes into fat storage. So you have to work with your hypothalamus, and if you don't, you will really be struggling to keep the weight off. So in order to balance the hypothalamus, I have developed Genesis Gold, which you can get right here, which actually helps your hypothalamus to get the nutrients that it needs, especially the amino acids and those phytoherbal nutrients, to actually stay in balance, get your hormones in balance, so that your weight set point can slowly drop down. You want to drop it down about every 6 to 8 weeks. That will increase your metabolism as well, and you're going to burn energy more efficiently. Number two, I want you to start eating like your ancestors. Now, what does that mean? Well, originally we were in a hunter-gatherer mode, which meant that when we hunted for animals, when we actually got them, we would eat that protein for as long as that animal would last either the family, the tribe, the village. It may have been 3 days, it may have been 5 days, it may have been a week, and we would not have filled up on any very high carbohydrate foods because it would have been a waste. So we would have these periods of time of high protein and maybe some greens, some other herbs and things that we'd throw into stews, and then the hunters would go off and they'd hunt some animals, and the villagers and the gatherers would gather and eat carbohydrates. 2 to 3 days a week of carbohydrates and 4 to 5 days of a heavier protein-based with vegetable-based diet is actually a healthier way to eat, to try to get your hypothalamus to be out of survivor mode and into thriving mode. So you want to mix it up. You don't want to be on the same kind of dietary regime all the time. So what I do with my patients is I have them use my insulin-resistant diet for at least 3 weeks to try to jumpstart their weight loss. And it's a very low carbohydrate diet in terms of grains, breads, pastas, etc. More protein, a little bit of fat, and lots of vegetables. And then I have them start introducing carbohydrate days. And that makes a big difference at trying to mix things up so the hypothalamus doesn't get so used to that very low carbohydrate diet that it puts you back into survivor mode. So, number 3, I want you to increase your daily activity. I know you're exercising, but how many steps are you actually getting every day? If you wear a step monitor, a Fitbit, one of those monitors which you actually can measure your steps, I want you to look at what your normal day looks like. A normal day without exercise, a normal day with exercise. And I want you to start increasing every week by 10% those steps. You'll probably notice if you keep a log that there's times where you're sitting quite a bit. If you're sitting more than 2 to 3 hours every day, you're sedentary. I know you're exercising. You may exercise vigorously for an hour and a half every day, but if you're sitting on your butt for 8 hours a day, that is a sedentary lifestyle. That hour and a half exercise doesn't make up for it. You got to move as much as possible. You got to get up and move at least every hour. Start adding some more steps in. Park a little bit farther away. The more active you are, the trimmer you'll stay. That activity is as valuable as your regimented exercise program. And make sure you change your exercise program around every 6 weeks. Don't do the same thing all the time. Every 6 weeks, introduce something new. Your muscles get used to it. Your metabolism gets used to it. So throw in something new in order to shake things up and get you more metabolically active. Even adding weight resistance can help. Number 4, you need to rest more and you need to sleep deeper. Now, how is that going to help with exercise? If you're exercising all the time and you're really, really working at it and you're not losing weight, it may be that you're making way too much cortisol. And that cortisol is actually breaking down your lean body mass because you're exercising too much. You need to put in those rest days. You should not be exercising that heavily every single day. At least 1 to 2 days a week, you need a rest day. You need a recovery day. Now, that doesn't mean you're sitting on your butt or lying in bed all day. It just means you're not stressing your body with heavy, heavy exercise. And you want to make sure that you're getting really deep sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours a night in the dark. And that is when you start to reverse the insulin resistance by making more melatonin, and that allows you to burn that body fat. In order to get deeper sleep and reset your circadian rhythm, as well as balance out your hypothalamus, you can get my Genesis Gold right here. Thank you.